1% of India's population. Next, Kashmiri language, so nearly 0.56%. And Konkani, so Konkani mainly you can see in the Gujarat. Okay, that is Konkan coast was there, Maharashtra borders. They are going to speak 0.9%. So 0.9% of Indian population they are going to speak Konkani language. Next, Maithili. Next, Malayalam. So Kerala. So Kerala they are going to speak Malayalam, nearly 2.88%. Next, Manipuri. So Marathi. So next, just let me forward. Yes. So if you see here the Telugu language. So before going to the Tamil, so Sindhi, Santali, Sanskrit. So if you see here, Sanskrit is, so they have kept just null. Actually, the Sanskrit language speakers are also more, but there is a conflict was there between the Sanskrit and the Hindi. Okay, so what is the conflict here means? So they want to make Sanskrit as an official language in the beginning, before making Hindi as the official language. Even the Sanskrit speaking peoples also more in our country, because the Brahmanas, they are going to speak Sanskrit. Okay, so but here finally the elections are conducted between the Sanskrit and Hindi. But finally, nearly so just only 20% of votes are less when compared to Hindi language. So that's why, so there is conflict is there. So that's why they did not set the data of this Sanskrit. Okay, so leave it there. Next, come to the Santali language, Sindhi. Okay, Sindhi language, which is spoken in the borders of this Punjab. Next, Tamil. So Tamil language speakers are nearly 5.70% of Indian population. Telugu language is nearly 6.70% and Urdu is 4.19%. So here Telugu is there, the next biggest spoken language after Marathi. Okay, Marathi and Telugu. So both are the highest speaking peoples are there in our country after Hindi. So that's why the Telugu. So Telugu states are mainly formed based on the language. You know that. So first, the state which is formed based on language means. So this is only that is called as the Telugu language. Okay. So you can see from this one. So actually these languages are recognized by the central government. But apart from this, there are some so many languages are there. I said that nearly 1600 languages are there, or 1600 languages are there. So within this, the central government has recognized 18 languages, and our Telugu is the 16th place. Okay, like that. But actually here recently again in 2015, 22 languages also recognized. So the number from 18 to 22 was changed. This is modified into 22. Some of the languages also added. So this is the old data, but if you see the new data means you can see 22 languages recognized by the central government as a secondary language for India. Secondary languages, or they are called as scheduled languages in India. Okay, but there are other nearly some thousands of languages are there, which is not recognized by the central government. So this is about the language diversity in our country. Okay. So next, so just we move forward. Yes. So see here, this is one of the SRC. So the report of the States Reorganization Commission, SRC, was implemented exactly 50 years ago. So this is SRC was implemented 50 years ago. And so what is the meaning here means this is separate organization for that means the modifications which are going to be made in the states. So they will be made by the SRC. Okay, if any modifications are there in the states, either it's a partition or sometimes the languages or regions, so that will be comes under SRC. Okay, State Reorganization Commission. So in the year 1956. So this is an important one to time way and has to transform the political and the institutional life of the nation. So Gandhi and other leaders promised their followers when freedom came, so new nation would be based on the new sets of provinces. So this is based on principles of languages. So however, in India finally freed in 47, so it was also divided. So when before independence, even our Gandhi has promised that after getting independence, India is going to divide into the states. So based on provinces. So actually we have the 5 provinces are there. So Madras province, next Kolkata province, Mumbai, Bombay province, next to Delhi or central province. So like that some provinces are there. Okay, eastern province and western, the 7 provinces are there. 7 provinces, not 5 provinces. Eastern, it is called as Northwest Frontier Province, Northeast Frontier Province. Okay, if you see in India like this, so this province, that means all these eastern states, they are called as Northeast Frontier, NF, NEF, or NEFR. So Northeast Frontier Regions. And here also the Pakistan region is considered as Northwest Frontier Region. So that's why sometimes if you see in the 1947, they are calling this as Pakistan as Northwest Frontier Region and the eastern states as Northeast Frontier Regions. So they are also considered separate provinces in the British India. Okay, so Gandhiji has promised that after getting independence, the states are divided based on these provinces. So like that, after getting independence in 47, after that, so first time in 1953. So in 1953, first time the Telugu people has formed a state. It is called Andhra state based on language. And by seeing this one immediately, the Assam is also formed as a separate language state. So later, the modification, the SRC has modified all the states based on languages. Okay, so this is about the SRC, State Reorganization Commission. Remember the date, 1st November 1956. So in the November 1956, what is happened here in our Andhra Pradesh? So our Andhra state was converted into Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh by merging with Telangana state. So this Andhra and Telangana both are united and they formed into Andhra Pradesh in the year 1956 on 1st November. So from there onwards, so all the states are modified based on the languages and their interest. Okay. Next, so partition, yes. Partition was the consequence of a primordial attachment to one's faith. So how many more partitions would that other primordial loyalty language lead to? So ran the thinking of Nehru, Patel and Rajaji. So actually here, what is the quotation here means? So Nehru and Patel, they thought that the partition is against the unity. But here, if you divide the states into languages or regions like this, so once again, in the future, we are going to see some partitions. Like that, Nehru was guessed that. And their argument is, so we should not divide the country into based on languages also. Because if they have separate language means, then that is the problem for unity. So unity will not be there. Okay. So unity will be lost. Example, if you see here, the Jammu Kashmir and also this East Bengal, it is we lost Bangladesh because of these partitions. Okay, so they said that if you divide these based on languages, so once again we may expect some of the partitions in the future. So like that they thought. Okay. Next, just we move forward. So this is yes. So these are all the, so while these disputes are not pretty, so they could in fact have been far worse. So suppose these are called as the disputes. So here also you can see this, okay. if you read these quotations, so later you can see this. Okay, far from undermining Indian unity, so linguistic states have helped strengthen it. It has proved perfectly consistent of so Kannadiga and the Indian Bengali and Indian Tamil and other Gujarati Indian. So to be states based on language sometimes quarrel with one another. So here what they thought means, so that is exactly right, because based on languages also some disparities of came between the states. So if you see the Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, so they have separate recognitions. Tamil Nadu means, so sometimes any problems will come. Suppose if any water disputes are coming between the states, then they will respect their own states and also own cultures. So this shows sometimes that partitions and differences. Okay, so based on languages. So these are the allegations, okay, problems which are raised by other politicians. So if you see here Marathi, Telugu, etc., so have been disregarded, whatever may be the one language and 15 or 15 nations. So here how many languages are there, that will not be important, but we must maintain the national unity. So that is the main target. But if you going on dividing the states based on languages and also regions, so at one day or two we may expect some of the partitions from India. So to overcome that one, so we must follow one nation one language policy.